Up, Brandon here with Therapeutic Fragrance. Have another oud review today. Just been in the oud mood with the wet weather here in the Northwest. So applied second wearing of this, applied some this morning, and just have to review it about 4 hours in, and stay tuned. This is Nayouf from Phil Oud, and yes, I'm feeling oud. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Brandon with an oud review. So let's get right to it. Applied this this morning, second time wearing this particular Oud Nayouf. Nayouf. My best at translating this. I haven't heard it translated. Haven't seen a video on this one. Oud, but yeah, 4 hours into this one, and here's the bottle again. I'm gonna try to show the color here. And if you see my review that I did of the Senko, Chigo Senko, the color, this is just a tad bit darker than that one. Still a beautiful ambery, a little bit darker than that one. This is what I'd expect this color to smell like, what I put on today. The other one, totally different than what I expected, but this one, from smelling ouds, I expected the smell out of this one. It definitely surprised me. Bunch of surprises in this, but more of the aquatic and a tad bit floral, and one big surprise that I'll get into right now. Right off the top of this one, just very metallic, just metallic. I smelled it. I'm like, this just smells in a very good way. Love metallics. I've tried one perfume that's metallic. Those are, again, I love people that do scents like that. How you do an oud like this? It's crazy. I did some research and found out, how they did. I don't think the oil naturally has the metallics. It's part of the distillation art that goes into the oud that gives it that metallic, but just a lovely metallic in it. It's there still. The notes change so much from the top, but the top is just a very metallic, slight lemon off the top of the nose, just that top scent that you get. I got a little bit of lemon with ambery tones veering towards honey. A nice, really sweet honey that I can smell as part of the top scents. That just this sweet metallic, little lovebird. The lemon that I mentioned comes with a floral, and I know on the scent spectrum they're kind of opposite. You got your citruses here and your florals up here, and citruses down there on the bar. But I just have those coming together. A lemon floral, if you could. There's such a thing. More not a powdery floral, and not a jasmine-y either. In between that, kind of a white floral, lemonly white floral, but not real powdery. So don't want to give that into anybody's heads, or it wasn't in my head at all. Nothing powdery about this. Just but I do pick that up. One thing, if you pay close attention, you can pick up smoked woods in this. Smoked woods, kind of like if you ever smelled like a barbecue pitmaster using just a pure oak, kind of like that smoked wood, but if the oak was a little bit damp, even though they usually wouldn't put damp wood in there, but just a very wet smell to this. Just a nice sweet smoke wood smell that's wet. That's what I pick up on this. Very lovely. Some mossiness in there. The metallics carry through the whole the whole sniff the whole way with all these other accents going on. If that makes any sense. Now, after 2 hours, this oud changed, and this is where my notes were kind of like that. I didn't know it changed as much, but definitely want to wear it. And I remember this the first time wearing it, but it changes on my skin, and the journey begins. All of a sudden, I'm transported, taking a hike here in the Northwest, and this oud just goes wet forest, soft, like you're in the forest with a light rain. Not a heavy rain drenching you, just a light rain, a couple drops off the ferns, and you're walking around the forest floor. Not mushroomy, but definitely the moss hanging on the bark, the wet woods all around. Just a beautiful hike through the woods is what you get in the middle of this oud. Very transportive. Right into a hike. I hope I'm doing this justice, but it took me right into I want to go out to the gorge right now and do a hike because of this oud. What else did I have for the middle? Yeah, wet forest is all I have for the middle. But all that the wet forest comes with, there's a lot that goes on there. The metallic's still there, not as heavy, but it's still an undertone now instead of just the whole. At the top of the nose, now the wet force comes on top and the metal's below, if that makes sense, in the sniff. Awesome oud, awesome effect. Glad I own it. Here it is again, one more time. Get that nice color of the juice in there. I believe this was a 2 gram purchase, I want to say. Yeah, it's one you don't want to see go down. It's still available. I think it's almost sold out. So, yeah, again, don't want to try not to do reviews unless they're just too outstanding of things that aren't available for you guys. The dry down right now. It's like a beautiful vetiver, not as intense as the root cusses I've smelled in between that Indian vetiver and a lighter vetiver that we're probably used to in Western perfumery. Kind of in between that is on top now. The metal is really fading in the background. It's there, but this vetiver scent's coming on top now. And then the forest is kind of fading out, and it's becoming this in this dry down. Yeah, that's the dry down. Oud is amazing. This is an oud that definitely stands on its own. It perfumery notes. It has top, base, bottom, as I've mentioned. To me, this is an oud I would use to. I love layering ouds on perfumes. And as soon as with the dry down, it's kind of changing my mind a bit, but on those top notes, that metallic, if you have any of those delicate tea fragrances or even a boozy fragrance, I could see wanting to add this on top of and just getting that metal effect with those fragrances. I'm thinking my slumber houses, Bake or Kist, maybe a Nascimato Pardon. Be nice to play with the metal in those fragrances, or your tea fragrances. I could see it would be fun to play with that on top with the metal accord that's there. It's not even a cord, this is straight oil. But yeah, so this is the research I've done. There was in the distillation, this was soaked in copper pots, so I'm assuming that's where part of the metal comes from. It was also teakwood, high-end teakwood put into this distillation, as with the what kind of, it's a Thai agarwood, it's a cow yai Thai agarwood, and teakwood was put into the pot with fresh spring water. I know they play around with water affects oud. I've heard them playing around with coconut water and just different water from different sources affect the end product of the oud, the olfactory experience of the oud that you get through the wearing of it. So this was a fresh spring water in a copper pot soaked, then transferred to a clay pot, and then it was distilled through, cooked in a copper pot. Actually, so I'm sure that finish just gives it that heavy metallic flavor that I'm loving. Yeah. The chart, I'm going to get to the scent chart here and move into that a bit. My last video, I introduced my scoring system for oud. I'm working on it. If you have suggestions, please leave them there. Let's work on this together. It's not perfect. It's to give you guys an idea, because most ouds you do have to blind buy, to give you guys an idea if this oud's up your alley or not. And I'm just trying to get those mental things that at least I know ouds are known for and why I wear them. Because of this oud, I've added a 7th one, metallic, to my list. And I've been doing a lot of research on the scent chart and scent wheels out there, and kind of taken from that and balancing with what I've read on all the blogs, like Oud Dict, and a couple others out there about sensory experiences you have with it. So that's where it comes from. So I'll get into my scoring of this today. For floral, I'm going to go a 3 out of 5 on this one. For the florals, they were there in the beginning. Maybe a little bit of very green florals, animalic florals here on the dry down. Aquatic, this is aquatic. I'm gonna go 3.5 out of 5 on this one. It's wet. It's natural. It's not the synthetic aquatic that got introduced into perfumery in the 80s. This is just 100% natural aquatic in here. Sensory experience. It's awesome. Spices on this one is toned down. I would even go. I'm gonna go 1 out of 5 on this one. Spices. Maybe I'm picking up some now, but definitely not on the top. The whatever on the top was just overpowering, which I loved. Not taken away from it, but I can pick up some delicate spices now. But 1 out of 5 for me on this one. Resinous, very resinous. If you can picture a wet resin, very soggy resin. I'll go 3 out of 5 on resins on this one. And the woods on this one, woods carried out throughout. It changed. It had the smoked wood was interesting with the aquatic in there. A lot going on in this one. I'm gonna go 3.5 out of 5 on the woods. I'll stick it there. I have it written down at 3, but I'm gonna go 3.5 out of 5 with the finish here. And that'll be it for me. Metallics, the new score here. 4.5 out of 5, just because of that strong start. And it does have a faint finish, just so you guys know, but it lasts a good hour. The metallics, heavy metallics, last a good hour. So if you're into that or not into that, be aware. I'm very into it. This will be an oud I'll mark down. I want to remember. I don't know, hopefully they can use the same process and get the same effect again out of this. When they're sold out, I guess it is gone, and it'd be dangerous to even expect another scent out of this like this. And some of them call them 2.0 or whatever, but for now, at least I have this bottle. Thanks for joining me with another oud review. Hope you guys are liking them. Oud's a passion of mine. I've been learning more all the time. The art of it is just phenomenal, and watching these guys just pour their lives into this product and actually what it takes and how you change everything. It's not a simple, I see these oil companies I'm working with, they're just dealing with just batches of whatever oil they want to make, and these one kinds of pots and producing as much oil as possible. The oud is so much different. These guys are playing with it, experimenting with it, stuff up my alley. I love that kind of stuff. I love artisans and being around that and supporting that whole philosophy and culture. It's hard to, there's a lot of fake out there. I probably only have 4 or 5 on my list that I trust right now, and it is growing. I'm learning. Again, suggestions, leave them in comments. People you guys buy oud from. I think this is something that should be shared with everyone. For now, everyone, bye. Have a great day. Have a blessed day. Peace out. Just got back from the gym and couldn't help myself but share this. These aren't planned. Not trying to do this. The reaction to the oils. I just haven't worn ouds in high heat or when my body temperature rises like this. I went in there. I left the video with the dry down at the vetiver, and the grassy, smell starting to come in more and more. So I was like, what is this gonna smell like coming off of my skin when my pulse rises, when I get my heartbeat up, get sweat going. So I was like, I wonder what grass can smell like that. What happened today was I just, this oil is so incredible. I don't mean to hype this up. This oil is just something else. This oud oil. This one in particular, I really wish I had more of this. I'm gonna be very careful watching this one go down. It turned into just this sweet honey, vanilla yumminess off of my skin. I couldn't believe how sweet it was. No hints of the vetiver, no hints of the metallic, no hints of the forest, no hints of nothing else that I told you about. Just sweet. And there's nothing else on my arm. I'm in a t-shirt, and it just turned sweet, almost included with if you guys burn frankincense, or I think it's bakor, I think that's the correct name. If you burn that and get that sweet, not really smoky, but that sweet smell from there, a little bit of that with the vanilla and honey, just could not believe what it turned into. And so we're talking, this thing went metallic, very woodsy and aquatic, and just turned into this sweet, like literally like putting honey on your skin. Yeah, I just had to share that. Had to finish a little bonus content here on so 4 changes in this oud oil. Well, that's with temperature. I don't think there's such a thing as cold weather and warm weather. Oud, as I get into this stuff, is it becomes different compared to what environment you're in. One of the beautiful things about this oil, and the more you study about the oil, I'm sure it has to fight off the different diseases on the trees, and it's used to becoming something different, and it definitely does on your skin. You feel the power of this resin that is oud. Had to share that. Hope you enjoy the video. Please subscribe. Keep following. Any suggestions? Take care and peace out again.